Welcome guys, this is Ola from Stop Me O channel. Today we are discussing a very sad news that we received 2 days ago. Naughty Dog has decided to actually delay the release of The Last of Us Part 2. Now I'm not gonna lie to you, that was to be expected. Because of that whole pandemia, because of the whole coronavirus deal, everything's getting postponed and major releases are getting pushed. Not everything is working as it's supposed to. But first I was sort of hoping they could release it digitally. Apparently the product is almost done, so I was thinking what's the harm in releasing the game when it was supposed to be released, so end of May. Well, come to think of it, I don't think it's possible. There's probably a bunch of people working on the product. There's physical releases, there are some promotional events that are getting postponed and pushed, so it's not like you can simply push a button and then the game will be available on your PS4. Now, it doesn't work like that. There's a whole process involved, and the more people are involved, the more people are sort of endangered. So what I wanted to say, that's totally understandable. As sad as I am, because like I picked the worst moment to get hyped to go over that game again. I started replaying The Last of Us and I still feel like this is the best game I have ever played and will ever play, most probably. I was rewatching the trailers and I was really hung up on that. I still understand that decision. I think it's an admirable decision. Like, there's no point in endangering people with a release of the game that will be released eventually anyway. So here's hope it won't take too long. Here's hope that in a couple of months it will still get a proper release. Now, here's what the actual announcement said. The release of The Last of Us Part 2 has been delayed. We're sure this news is just as disappointing to you as it is to us. We wanted to reach out to all of you in our community to give you a little more information. The good news is we're nearly done with development of The Last of Us Part 2. We are in the midst of fixing our final bugs. However, even with us finishing the game, we were faced with the reality that due to logistics beyond our control, we couldn't launch The Last of Us Part 2 to our satisfaction. I mean, that's a fair announcement. Alongside that announcement, they actually released a bunch of new screenshots. And I got so excited over these screenshots. We can see brand new things. I think we can find out a bit more about the upcoming game. And more importantly, I think these photos give us one major hint about what might happen in The Last of Us Part 2. One thing that everyone was always wondering if it's ever going to happen. Hope that sentence made sense. A couple of months ago, I reacted to all the Last of Us Part 2 trailers, especially to the one where Joel appeared, and I've been analyzing these trailers, I've been sharing these predictions with you, so you can check out these videos. As I was rewatching these trailers, I realized that I'm still so very confused about what's going to happen in the second part. I know that Naughty Dog is a master of deception. I know that they're trying to mislead us, or perhaps they're trying to mislead us with us thinking that they're trying to mislead us. This is all very confusing. But if you analyze all these trailers together, all these scenes that we were allowed to see, it all seems very clear. Joe, Ellie, Tommy, they're all living in this camp. It has its own rules, it has its own restrictions, it has its own guards. It's almost like a city, it's almost like a small society with rules of law, all these small ongoing relationships. It seems like Joe and Ellie are finally living the life of a father and a daughter. It's clear that Joe taught Ellie how to play a guitar. It's clear that they're even calling each other father and daughter. This is so exciting because you never heard them call each other father and daughter in the actual game, in the original game. That one Asian guy, the one that Dina used to date, he told Ellie,
"Your old man really laid into me today."
So clearly the world sees their relationship as a father and daughter one. When it comes to Ellie, she's getting involved with this girl, Dina. Clearly they're scheduled to leave the camp together, probably some sort of an expedition. They're probably checking out the area outside of the city, outside of the camp, making sure everything is safe. Possibly they're looking for food, making sure that there's no clickers, bloaters around and stuff like that. And they're doing just that, they're leaving the camp. Based on these trailers, it seems like something goes off, something goes wrong, and possibly Dina is taken, possibly she's even murdered. Some claim that she's raped. Some claim that Ellie was raped. I don't actually believe that. I know that Naughty Dog is dark, but I don't think they're this dark. Also, I don't think it would be that necessary when there's a whole other thing going on. We don't really have to deal with raped Ellie's sort of a thing. Also, didn't that girl just, have enough? Anyway, so the trailer's suggesting that Dina dies and that Ellie will go on this revenge trip. that Joel will finally join her. He's not going to let her do this on her own. This could mean that we'll be playing as Ellie and that Joel will be our companion as opposed to the original game. But we still can't be really sure. Does Dina actually die? Isn't this a bit repetitive? This is exactly what happened in Left Behind the OC. Ellie kisses one girl and then she's dead. This would be the same situation again. I guess it's possible in a post-apocalyptic world. Not everyone is safe. It is probable that, well, Ellie's girlfriend would die again. But we can't be sure. There's still something off, even though these trailers seem kinda obvious, even though this is what they're showing us. Maybe they're misleading us with how obvious that is. It still feels like there's something off. First of all, I think we will be spending more time in that camp that we're suggested. I don't think it's going to happen in the very beginning of the game, because we can see a bunch of different screenshots from that camp. Let's have a look at these screenshots. There's one combat-related screenshot. There's Joe playing on the guitar. Now this one's fantastic. Like, to me it's obvious that he's sitting in a hut with Ellie. Maybe one where they both live. Maybe they both have separate houses. I'm not certain how that works. Hopefully they're living together. Like, this would be my dream. I'm sorry, I'm a bit fixated about their relationship. In fact, I recorded one video about Joe and Ellie's relationship. It was an in-depth analysis, so I'm going to leave a link for that, and please check it out. It's actually pretty interesting. Anyway, so that's one situation already. We're seeing our foes again. We can see Tommy and Ellie. Joe is not there. I'm not certain if this is supposed to happen after Dina gets supposedly kidnapped, or perhaps it's happening after something else happened. We don't really know what happened to Dina. We never saw in that trailer. Ellie and a bunch of clickers. Ellie on the road. Trespassers killed on sight. Ellie on the road again. Joe and Tommy. I'm not really certain why Joe has a guitar with him. Is this not the city where they live? Or perhaps they're visiting another site? But it reminds me of that one scene when Joe was supposed to leave Ellie behind with Tommy. Perhaps this is the very place. There's Ellie and Dina. Now we've seen a bunch of screenshots with Dina. We've seen a bunch of shots of her in the trailers, and in all these shots she was wearing different clothes. So that's why I think we'll be spending more time in that camp, in that city, than we're suggested based on the trailers. There's a fire. That Asian guy again, it seems like he will be accompanying us at one point. Ellie in a dark room of some sort. And here's two most important screenshots that they shared. Ones that blew my mind. Joe and Ellie. Now it took me 2 seconds to associate these with the very last scene of The Last of Us. The one when Ellie asks Joel, swear to me that you didn't lie to me about the Fireflies not needing a vaccine anymore. Swear to me. In that very moment, Joel lied to Ellie. Now I discussed that in that other video that I mentioned, the in-depth analysis of Joe and Ellie. There's a bunch of possible explanations when it comes to that final scene. Did Ellie know that Joe is actually lying to her? Is this something that she simply needed to hear in order for her to move on? I think so. I think partially she knew. Was Joe right to make that kind of a decision that would possibly determine mankind's fate? I think he was right. I know that this is the ultimate moral problem, to pick one or to pick many. We could discuss that for many hours. But in this particular case, we would be killing Ellie off without knowing if there's even a slightest chance of finding a vaccine, thanks to her brain. We have no idea. For all we know, we could simply kill her to find out that it's not possible to create a vaccine. Now, what does that make us? Doesn't this make us a simple killer, a murderer? Doesn't this take away the very last of humanity left in us? This is my opinion. This is what I think about that. Like I mentioned before, I already talked about this in that other video, but I still believe that Joel made the right decision. Now here's the deal. Are they ever going to confront? Will there be a major confrontation when it comes to Joe and Ellie? Are we going to repeat that very conversation? Perhaps this time around Joe will actually tell her the truth. I mean, the immunity problem is still there, the immunity issue is still there, Ellie is still immune. Perhaps there's even a vaccine in progress, in the works. We have no idea, it's been years. But if you have a look at these screenshots, if you have a look at these two screenshots, they resemble that final Last of Us scene so damn much. And I think there will be some sort of a confrontation between Joe and Ellie. Now, I cannot wait. Sadly, they shared these screenshots along with the news that we're not going to play the game in May. I mean, that's okay. I restarted playing The Last of Us, so it's going to take me a while to finish it. Until then, I will be recording more predictions videos and I'll be waiting. I totally understand this decision and it makes me sad, but we need to understand that it's for the best, for everyone, for all our sakes. Now I really hope that Joe and Ellie have that final talk, and I hope Ellie finds it in her to forgive him if he actually decides to share that news, if he actually decides to tell her. I hope she will understand, and it's not like he's the one needing her, they both needed each other. Letting Fireflies murder Ellie just for the sake of it was simply wrong, and I feel very strongly about that. Now let me know if you'd like me to actually discuss that more, that final The Last of Us scene. I already talked about that, but I'd love to record a separate video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know, what are your thoughts about The Last of Us Part 2 being delayed? Are you disappointed? What do you think about these screenshots? Drop a comment, and please remember to drop a like, it helps a lot. Do subscribe for more The Last of Us Part 2 content. I've also started playing Witcher 3 on my channel. Now that's a fun gameplay, so make sure to actually give it a try. Thanks so much for watching and stay safe, guys. This was Ola from Stop Me O channel. Bye.